So Halloween Ends just came out. Me and my sister just watched it, and I have to say, I wasn't that big of a fan of the last movie, but this really was like one of the best Halloween movies I've ever seen. And you might think, wow, Luke, that's crazy. I'm just joking. This movie fucking sucked. It was worse than I could ever imagine. Like I didn't like I was coming into this movie expecting it to be bad. Like I knew since the last movie wasn't very good and the 2018 movie wasn't all that great either. I wasn't expecting some magnum opus of a movie. I wasn't expecting anything, that was going to shock me or surprise me. But you know what? Actually, no. Be quite honest with you, this movie did shock me. It shocked me how fucking terrible they handled almost everything in this film. So we start the movie off, and I'm going to just spoil it because I don't give a fuck, because this movie sucks. It's just a piece of shit. Don't watch it. If you watch the last movie, you might as well not even watch this movie because it almost has nothing to do with the last movie. It feels like it doesn't even take place in the same universe, just with the same characters. It feels like you're watching a bad fan fiction of like, oh, what if this takes place after the... Like, it does not feel like an official Halloween product. And this is just one of the most baffling Halloween movies ever. So, Michael kills, 60 people in the span of 2 movies, and then he disappears. The year after, we cut to this in the beginning of the movie. It's 2019, and this kid named Corey is babysitting this little kid, and the little kid ends up locking him upstairs in the attic, and the guy kicks down the door but accidentally hits the kid, and the kid falls down the stairs and dies. And it's like, damn, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. But what does this have to do with Michael? Well, I guess we'll find out. Well, it really has, almost nothing to do with Michael. In fact, this Corey character ends up this shouldn't even be called Halloween. It should be called Corey, because the movie is about this character named Corey that we literally just met in this movie. We literally just met this Corey character in this movie, and yet for some reason I think he has more screen time than Jamie Lee Curtis. And her daughter too. Certainly has more fucking screen time than Michael. So, everybody in the town hates this guy, because he accidentally killed a kid. And, apparently Haddenfield has changed so much. But really, you can't get the feeling that anything has changed because nobody really talks about the whole thing where 60 people got murdered. It's referenced a few times, but it doesn't have as big of an impact on the town as you thought it was going to have. I thought there was going to be, the opening of the movie would be the night after or the day after Halloween 2018, where there's cars fleeing the city, people are trying to get out of there because, they're fucking, 60 people dead? And they haven't found Michael Myers. That's terrifying. And the impact that could have had on Haddenfield would have been great. Instead of the evil dies tonight like we got in the fucking last movie, we could have actually gotten the aftermath of a Michael Myers murder spree explored. And we didn't. We didn't get that. Instead, everybody in Haddenfield is a generic bad guy. Or not bad guy, just a generic asshole, oh, fuck you, fucking piece of shit, hope you fucking blah blah, calling people freaks and stuff like it's the 1980s. It is, oh my god, it is so cringe. All of these characters are ginormous assholes that are just cannon fodder to be killed later. But unlike in the last Halloween movies where they would be cannon fodder for Michael Myers, this time it's this kid named Corey that I just brought up. He gets thrown down under an overpass, and then he goes into this little tiny hole thing, the asshole of fucking Haddenfield, I don't know. And Michael Myers starts choking him, but then he looks into Michael's eyes and he's like, oh my god, oh my god. And then he sees shit. I'm not exactly sure what he saw, but um, I guess it turns him evil. I don't know. He becomes evil. He becomes Michael's friend. It's so fucking strangely handled because he brings this cop guy down to the fucking into the fucking sewer with him. And he tries to kill him, but the cop guy is too strong for him. And then Michael's there, but Michael's all weak, I guess, because he's old and he's been fucking beat up for like 3 or 4 movies now. And it's so this is like the strangest plot point, where him and Michael like team up in like the middle of the second or the beginning of the second act, and then they start killing people together. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting it, but it's kind of cool. And then you look at the runtime, and you're like, wow, this movie's almost over. And isn't this supposed to be like about the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael? Doesn't seem like we're really spending enough time focusing on that aspect of the movie. Well, this is the funnier part. Like, he becomes, it's like, oh my god, this is like one of those bad movies where like the teenager becomes like a vampire or something. It's like, oh man, how am I gonna go to school becoming a vampire now? Like, or the Spider-Man thing where like, he gets bit by a spider and then he's like transforming into Spider-Man. Like that literal scene happens where he comes home and he's like, I'm not feeling good, and he takes off his shirt and he's like, he sees blood on his hands and he's looking into the mirror. He's transforming into a serial killer. It's the biggest cheesy fucking thing you'll ever see, even for a Halloween film. And literally, this entire, like, most of the movie at this point is focusing on this Corey character. He seems to have a good connection with Michael. They seem to be, like, friendly with each other, sort of. Like, I don't know, Michael hasn't killed him, and they're killing together, And then randomly, he just goes into the fucking little underpass hole thing, and he starts like tackling Michael. He's like, I need your fucking mask, and he wrestles Michael, and he actually beats him in a wrestling match, and he takes his fucking mask from him. Michael looks like such an asshole in this movie. He literally looks like a guy who got mugged. He got his mask mugged from him. It was so bad. You should see how terrible it looked. Oh my god. And like Michael's just like, and he takes his mask and he dresses up like Michael Myers and he starts killing a bunch of people dressed up like him. And oh my god, this was like, I was excited at the time watching it, but then I was just like, well, this isn't Michael Myers. This is the same problem that I have with like Friday the 13th Part 5. It's like, it's not really him committing these murders. But they just drop that angle because once he goes after Laurie, she shoots him and she takes off the mask from him, and then the real Michael Myers shows up, and that's when the fight begins and ends quickly. It's a pretty disappointing fight. She pretty much beats the shit out of him. Like, can we stop with it? Laurie is like 85 fucking years old, and she's going against Michael Myers. There's no way she should have won. I think Laurie probably should have died in this movie. And there's, like, Michael is just, the fact that he's supposed to be this unstoppable monster, this unstoppable killing machine, and he completely gets his ass kicked throughout the entire movie. He is like a slapstick clown in this movie. It is baffling how much he gets his ass kicked. But that's beside the point, because after they kill Michael, the movie's end. The movie's over. It ends. So all the stuff that we focused on Corey, pretty much inconsequential to the plot, because none of that really has to do with the Laurie versus Michael angle, which was barely built up throughout the movie. But Michael's barely in the movie. Like, he's in it, I think, for a total of 5 minutes. This was just fucking terrible. This was terrible. And, like, you get to the 45-minute mark, and you already can tell, that the movie, like, wait a second, we're almost halfway through to the movie, like, and nothing's happened. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what you want to say about the other Halloween sequels. I'm sure they're, I've seen most of them. I don't think I've seen one or two of them, maybe 5 I haven't seen. But, I mean, like, at least you can credit those movies for actually, 1, having Michael Myers in it, 2, Michael Myers being the actual killer in the movie, and 3, having somewhat of a plot that feels like it, like, fits together and isn't just like, oh shit, now we gotta somehow connect this to Michael Myers and Laurie Strode. Whatever, just have a scene where he kills the kid. And, like, this is so strange, too. This guy just tries to kill Michael. It's like, why are you trying to kill him? I thought you liked him. I thought you guys were on the same side. I have no idea. I have no idea what was going on. I have no idea who thought this would be a good idea, because it was terrible. And maybe I'm not articulating these points as thoroughly and as clearly and as, I don't know, more constructively as like a film critic or whatever. But I mean, I'm just calling it as I sees it. Like, this was just so disappointing. Anybody who was excited from the last movie, I don't know how you could, because that movie sucked too, but you're not getting your money's worth, I literally paid $10 for Peacock Premium to get this fucking movie, and I feel like I got robbed, I feel like I just got fucked over my $10, because this was so embarrassingly bad. There's really not much to talk about it, too, because unlike the other movie, Halloween Kills, where I think I went on like 30 minutes talking about it, the scenes were so boring. It was so fucking boring for some parts. You know what I mean? And you get to that final fight, and I could not care less. And then they bring Michael Myers' body and they throw him into like a meat grinder or whatever. And it's just so terrible. It's just so bad. Like, I don't know. It felt like, oh, evil finally dies. They hadn't earned that. At least not in this movie. Maybe in the last movie when they fucking reiterated the same evil dies tonight 500 fucking times. But in this movie, it was almost like an afterthought that Michael Myers killed like 60 people in 2018. People bring up more often in this movie the guy who accidentally killed a kid than they do Michael Myers. And Corey's character, even though I kind of liked him, he shouldn't have been the focal point of this movie. You know what would have been cool? If he was one of the heroes of the movie and he's trying to help the daughter and, yeah, I have a shady past, but I'm going to help you because, I'm a hero. I'm not a fucking killer. There was an accident. I didn't mean that to happen. And then it would have been sad if he did get killed by Michael Myers. But instead, they make him like the murderer. And it's not explored very well. And then they just drop it at the end. And then it almost serves no point to anything. Because his murders are almost never brought up again. I think at the end she's like, I know you killed those people, by the way, so you're right, Grandma. Whatever. Fucking terrible movie. Fucking awful. I guess on this retrospective, we can talk about the entire series in general. First 2018 movie, Halloween 2018. I think that was decent. I enjoyed it. It was stupid still, just like all of these slasher movies tend to be, besides like the first 2 Halloween movies. But nonetheless, I think it was a 6 out of 10. I say 6 out of 10 is probably a pretty good review for it. Pretty fair. Last movie, Halloween Kills, was probably like, I'd say it was a 5, maybe a 4.5 out of 10. And then this was a fucking 2. This was a 2 out of 10. I enjoyed the whole, like, him turning into Michael Myers, but I feel like if it was in a different movie, I would have liked it more. But because it wasn't Michael Myers, I don't know, it just, like, it felt so off. And the fact that it wasn't even, like, it didn't even matter. Like, literally, that whole storyline was just to fill up time because they wanted to get Michael to face Laurie somehow. Just, like, I'm really at a loss for words. Like, there's not much to say about how bad this movie was. Don't watch it. And if you do, get really drunk with your friends and make fun of it. The only thing I can appreciate is that it was short. At least I didn't have to sit through fucking 2 hours. Actually, you know what? If it went on, I feel like this movie needed another 30 or 40 minutes. It wouldn't have been fun if we got to see like him and Michael, Michael and Corey getting like going on this killing spree, and like, with like fun music, like Corey's like holding up a head, and Michael's just like, "This is how you do it," and he cuts up the head, and like Corey's like taking the. I don't know. I'm just imagining a comedy movie where Michael Myers is trying to teach the next Michael Myers, and that's what it could like. I feel like that is the only good thing that could have come out of this movie is if we got more time with Michael Myers training his apprentice. But instead, it's just like that's brought up, that storyline is introduced to you, and then as quickly as it's introduced to you, it is thrown away. It's like, no, now he doesn't like Michael, and he's going to go on his own killing spree until he just dies. Oh, he's just dead. Yeah, he just died. So I think Michael killed like a total of 3 people in this movie, and wow, just fucking like what a terrible movie. What a fucking awful movie. Don't watch it, please. Do not watch it. Yeah, that's my review of Halloween Ends. I hope my fucking I hope my brain cells don't fucking end from watching this movie.